What's your name, bro? Haji. My name is Yahaziel. What's your name? Darren, Leroy, and Haji. Y'all know y'all brothers, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You say what's up to your brother, Leroy?
Yeah.
Say what's up to your brother, Leroy.
How you doing, Leroy? What's up, bro?
Say what's up to your brother, Haji. That's where it starts from us as men, unifying, because keep it real. A lot of times brothers walk down the block, we mean mug. Sometimes we don't mean it, but it's just like we having a rough day, right? We having a hard day. I found out my brother Leroy, he do landscaping. What you do for a living, Haji?
Scrap yard.
Scrap yard, some hard labor, right? What you do for a living? Shipyard. You see, now check this out. Y'all don't know each other from a hole in the wall, but all three y'all doing some back-breaking labor, right? Now, do any one of y'all three actually run the place that y'all work for? No, right? Give me 2843. What I was talking to Leroy about, which I want to share with y'all too, right? The officer was going over curses, right? We know we some of the strongest people on the face of the earth. We good at everything. But for some reason, we end up where? On the top or the bottom? Right. On the bottom, right? Read that real quick.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 43.
They do not want to tell you that. Read.
The stranger, that it is within thee.
Because that stranger that's within us, living in our communities,
shall get up above thee very high.
He wants to remain very high. You hear that, my brother Leroy? You hear that, Leroy? You hear that? In order for us to get on back high, in order for you to stop cutting grass and be above and have him cutting grass for you, what you got to do? You got to obey the commandments. What's some commandments that the brother was bringing out to you so far? Because that's key. That is the key point. What's some of the commandments? These are stepping stones. Yeah, he was just bringing out to you. And right now, you're not keeping one of them, but you don't know it though. That's the thing. That's the thing. Because when we don't know something, we can't apply it, right? So I want you to know so you can apply it so you can get on high and no longer on low. You follow me? That's the love I want to give my brother Leroy tonight. Bring it out. Bring it out for my brother real quick. We're going to go back over it again so you can see it. Come on.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 21 and verse 5. They shall not make baldness upon their head.
So he said not to make baldness. It doesn't mean you can't get a haircut. It means like Michael Jordan, right? What did he do? He made baldness. He shaved it off clean. Yeah, he was going bald. The Bible said that's clean. But don't take a razor and destroy it. Because at this particular time when he was coming out of Egypt, all these Egyptians, when you look in these movies, what do they have? Clean shaven head. That was their customs. We got to separate from everybody else's custom and come unto the Lord our God, right? Read that again.
They shall not make baldness upon their head.
So for example, a lot of us get haircuts, we get fades, right? You got something called a bald fade, right? We're not supposed to do that. You can get a fade, you can get a number one and get it low. You understand that? But don't make baldness upon your head, right? Come on.
Neither shall they shave up the corner of their beard.
So he said neither. Yeah, I see you touching it, and I could tell you could grow something. Whatever you can grow, my brother, grow it. Because guess what? You made in the image of God, in the image of Christ. Christ had a beard. Some brothers' beard go patchy. Okay, you can line it up, but he says you're not supposed to destroy it, meaning cut into it, make a chin strap out of it, out of fashion. A lot of us follow fashion, and that's where we start to sin, and we don't realize sin is breaking God's commandments. So if we want to get on back high, this is one way to start. This is a stepping stone, right? We don't make bones upon our head. We don't destroy the corners of our bed. Come on.
Nor make any cuttings in their flesh.
Neither we supposed to make cuttings. I did that without knowledge. Tattoos. And we make the cuttings in our flesh. Why? Because we're following fashions of the world. You understand that? Go to Leviticus 19. I want you to see what these cuttings in the flesh is for. Like I said, these are easy commandments, ain't they? They're stepping stones to start to get you in the right path so you could be where? High, above, rulership. That is where you was meant to be. You understand that? But you're being punished for not doing it. So now you on low. You follow? Read that real quick.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 28. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead.
For who?
For the dead.
That's how the other nations remembered they lost ones, they loved ones. They carved up their skin in remembrance of their dead. Like, I got one right here scrolled for my grandmother. I was trying to remember her. But when I came into the truth and found out that's not how you remember her. You bury her, you mourn for her as need be, and that's it. How you remember her and honor her is by keeping God's commandments. You understand that? That's how you truly honor. That's what it means by honoring your father and mother. That's what it means. Not by making cuttings in your flesh for the dead. Right? Go to Leviticus 18 and 3. I'm going to show you why though. Leviticus 18 and 3. Come on.
The book of Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 3. After the doings of the land of Egypt.
So after the way that we used to live in Egypt, because our ancestors, we served in Egypt like how we serving right now for over 400 years.
Right.
You follow? So God brought us out of slavery, right? And he said, listen, the way you used to get down to Egypt, the things you used to follow, like we follow Christmas right now, we follow getting the ball fades and the chin strap beards, the fashion of the world, right? After the doings of the land of Egypt, come on.
Wherein ye dwelt,
Where we were living,
shall ye not do.
we should not be doing it. Once we come into the knowledge of this truth, come on.
And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I brought you, shall ye not do.
So he even told our ancestors, he was bringing us in the land of Canaan, the promised land. Don't continue those customs in the land.
Right.
Because what's going to happen, I'm going to bring curses and punishments on you, and now your descendants going to be carried off in slave ships, and you're going to be below and not above. You follow? So these are stepping stones to getting yourself back where? On top, because that's where you belong. You understand that?
Right.
You belong on top.
Right.
So my brother Leroy, before you go, I want you to start to practice that. How you doing, my brother? Shalom, brother. Most High in Christ bless. This is a brother being an example right now to his brothers. He has his beard on his face.
Right.
He did not destroy the hair on top of his head.
Right.
And you know what he got on the bottom of his shirt? Y'all know what that is? We're going to bring it out for you. This is how rulership, how royalty dresses.
Right.
Because he gave us a dress code to separate us from all the other nations.
Right. Right.
This is what makes you above. When you're not, because we're not equal to. There's no man equal. There's no equality with God.
Right.
You understand that? Read that real quick.
The book of Numbers, chapter 15 and verse 38.
it out.
Speak unto the children of Israel,
Bible redundant. It keeps saying speak to us, nobody else. Read.
and bid them,
And what?
and bid them.
What does it mean to bid them? If you got your kids or mom said, I bid you to do this, what's she doing? Y'all know it.
What's it now?
Bid. What does it mean to bid somebody? Like if I bid you to go into the store right now, what am I doing?
Bring it out. Yeah.
Asking them, or what's another word for that? Telling them, commanding them. That's what he's doing right now. Come on, read it again.
Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments.
So he told Moses to speak unto us, right? And command us to make fringes in the borders, the bottom of our garments, right? Nowadays, the garments we wear, shirts, for example, right? And our sisters supposed to be wearing dresses, so in the borders of their garments should have on fringes.
Right.
Come on.
Throughout their generations.
So it said throughout their generations. What does that part mean? Throughout their generations. Is that temporary or is that permanent? Forever, exactly. Come on.
And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
Now I want you to take a close look at your brother. What's your name, bro? Jeremiah. All praises. Jeremiah, say your name again, I'm sorry. Aji and Darren. These your brothers out here, right? So look at your brother Jeremiah. He has a border of blue, a blue ribbon on top of his fringe, right? Come on.
And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Lord, and do them.
So he gave us a stylish dress code for us to remember his commandments and to apply his commandments. You understand that? Because check this out. When you rock the fringes and say you go to Ybor City, you know what people are going to be doing? They're going to be looking at you like, what is that? Brother, why you got on fringes and you going to sit there and feel convicted? I do not belong here right now.
Right.
It's nothing but whoremongering. This is not an example I'm setting right now for my people.
Right.
You understand that? It's going to convict you. You understand that? Because now you realize I'm in the midst of sin. I'm being self-willed. I'm doing presumptuous sin.
Right.
And he gave us this commandment because the brother presumptuously, meaning willfully, broke the Sabbath day. You know what happened to that brother? He got put to death.
Right.
He got put to death. This is why we can't take the grace that we got right now. Give me Ephesians 4 and 7 real quick.
Bring it out.
Ephesians 4 and 7. Because a lot of people going to tell you, well, we under grace. Yes, we are. That grace don't give you a license to sin, though.
Right.
I want you to see what the grace is for, though. Come on.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4 and verse 7.
Bring it out.
But unto every one of us is given grace, according to the measure of the gift of Christ.
So Christ giving every brother out here right now, myself included, a certain measure of grace. Yours might be more than mine. You understand? His might be less. We don't know. So that means we cannot take advantage of that thing. Get Nehemiah real quick. Nehemiah. I believe that's Nehemiah 9 and 8. Nehemiah 9 and 8. Because the grace is a dispensation time for you to get yourself right, for you to learn who you are. If we didn't have that grace, guess what? All of us would be dead right now.
Right.
We'd be dead without no hope, no salvation whatsoever. Let me see that real quick. Ezra, I'm sorry. It's Ezra 9 and 8. We'd have no type of hope whatsoever. But God, He sent forth His Son to die for us so we can have a chance. You understand that? Because under Moses, we died for breaking the Sabbath day. You understand that? We died for committing adultery. We died for a lot of sins that we take for granted right now. Ezra chapter 9 and Ezra chapter 9. Let me see verse 8. Yep, that's it right there. Read that.
The book of Ezra, chapter 9 and verse 8.
Bring it out.
And now, for a little space.
For what?
For a little space.
For a little space, right? Come on.
Grace has been shown from the Lord our God.
So for a little space, grace has been shown. A little space. I don't know what my little space is. You don't know what your little space is.
Right.
So it would implore us to do what? To repent and start to turn back.
Right.
Because check this out. My grace could run out as soon as I put this mic down.
Right.
Your grace could run out as soon as you ride that bike. A car could jump the curb right now and it's done.
Right.
And if I die in that sin, guess what? There's no salvation. Get Titus real quick. Get Titus. This is what the grace is supposed to teach us. This is what the little space is supposed to apply to us right now. As men, it is our job to get ourselves right, to get our neighborhoods right. Because we're leaders in the community.
Right.
You understand that, my brother? We're leaders in the community. We cannot keep having an excuse to just say, well, you know what? Tomorrow, next week. Right now, tonight is your night. Tonight is my brother's night. Everybody that hearing this gospel is their night to make a change in their life. Read that.
The book of Titus, chapter 2 and verse 11.
Read it out.
For the grace of God that bringeth salvation.
What does it bring?
That bringeth salvation.
Salvation. Brother, don't you want to be on top? Ain't you tired of being the bottom? Check this out. Don't you want to actually be ruling? Go back to where we always be powerful saying we got kings, we was this, we was that. But wait a second, how we getting back there though?
Right.
What's the steps? The steps is repenting. Read that again.
For the grace of God that bringeth salvation.
So grace, that little space, is to give you a chance for you to gain salvation, for you to repent. Read.
Hath appeared to all men.
It's appearing to you right now tonight.
Right.
You understand that? And I pray you take it seriously because it's appearing to you because like I said, you know it. Bro, cops will pull you over and it's done for the night. You know that. That's how they're giving it up right now.
Right.
A brother could look at you with hatred because he's not looking at you as an Israelite and take it from you.
Right.
You understand? Read that.
Teaching us that denying ungodliness.
And that's what the grace is supposed to do. It's supposed to teach us to deny sin.
Right.
Fringes, deny sin.
Right.
Read.
And worldly lust.
Worldly lust. You know what's a worldly lust that plays us right now in community? Sister walk down the block right now with her booty showing. Brother's gonna do what? Head turn. Head turn. Now you got a thought in your head. Now you lusting after your sister. You thinking about her for marriage? Nope. But why? She's not dressed right. So it's your job to teach her how to dress right, to have self-respect for herself. You understand that? To build up your people. Read.
We teaching us this. That denying ungodliness and worldly lust.
Denying sin.
We should live soberly.
We should live what?
Soberly.
Bro, we should live soberly. Right now, a lot of us be getting high, turning up. And I get it. I was doing it too because we can't deal with the oppression, so we look for a way to escape.
Right.
But you know what, though? Every time we roll up or get high, what happens? We come down, we need another high. And when the money runs out, what do? We rob one another. We kill one another. The Lord said you got to live soberly in these present days, right? Read.
Righteously.
Righteously. You know what righteously means? More or less? Now give it a shot. I think you know. Don't doubt yourself. You know what you think righteously means. We're going to bring it out, but I want you to take a shot of it, bro. Because I'm telling you, I know you know it. I know it's in there. You might not be able to explain it fully, but take a shot of it.
Bring it out.
If I'm living righteous, all right, we're going to read it. If I'm living righteously, that means I'm not living worldly. I'm not living sinfully. Go ahead, read that real quick.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6 and verse 25. And it shall be our righteousness.
Our what?
Our righteousness. If we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God.
So that's the righteousness he's telling us. It didn't change in the New Testament.
Right.
Because I saw a brother walk by a while ago. He said, I want the New Testament. So guess what? Let's go back to the New Testament and see how we're supposed to live.
The book of Titus, chapter 2 and verse 12, teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lust, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world.
So right now, as we speak to one another, that's how we should be living. You understand? So now, I got a question for you. What do you think will help you to live righteously? Can you do it by yourself? So what you think you're going to need? The commandments, but what I'm saying to you is, can you do it by yourself? As far as learning, growing, things like that, can you do it by yourself? No. So what do you think you're going to need in order to grow? Huh? Others, right? Okay. We're going to read this real quick, and then we're going to go into a law that he gave us to help us to grow amongst others. Read that real quick.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 10 and verse 25. Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together.
Because to your point, that's exactly what God told us as men. We cannot take for granted us gathering together as men, right? Read.
Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is.
There's some brothers right now, you'll go to them and say, hey bro, you know you're Israelite? And he'll say, I've been new. But he doesn't congregate. How you doing, brother? What's your name, bro? Clarence. Clarence? This your brother right here, man. Oh, see, y'all already know each other. This your brother too. That's Jeremiah, all right? We brothers out here, all right? I want to introduce, because like I was telling him, a lot of times we just walk past each other and don't say what's up. We all brothers out here, right? What we're going over right now, my brother, is the fact that once you learn in this truth and you want to grow, you got to start congregating, being around like-minded individuals. The same way when we wanted to turn up in the club, we know who to call to turn up, right? When we wanted to get high, we know what we'd been to call. But the same effort we got to apply into keeping the righteousness, God's commandments, so we can grow and start to correct the things in our community. Read that again.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 10 and verse 25. Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together.
So we cannot take for granted us getting together with people who have this knowledge. That's how we grow. That's how iron sharpens iron, right? Come on.
That's right.
As the manner of some is.
Because some brothers, like I was telling him out here, be like, yeah, bro, I didn't know I was Israel. He's like, well, damn, why you tell me? Why you put me on the game? Some people like to separate themselves. You know why? They're still dealing with their sin, and they don't want to be corrected. Because when you build together with like-minded people, somebody gonna spot it and gonna do what? The Bible's gonna come out. You understand? Read.
But exhorting one another.
You see that? We gotta be exhorting one another. You can't do that from a distance. We gotta actually be next to one another. Even a phone call, bro can tell me whatever you want to tell me. But when I see him in person, I can see like, damn, you got on your fringes or not? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you still smoking or not? Hey, you still eating unclean food or not? You understand? Read.
And so much the more as ye see the day approaching.
Because we see the day approaching. If you pay attention to the news, what's going on? Trump about ready to push a button. Everybody about ready to push a button. You understand that? It's about to go down. All them rumors of war Christ talking about, he said that was the beginning. So imagine it's going to get worse than what we're seeing right now. You understand that?
That's right.
We see the day approaching. We see a woman over here changing her gender. A man changing her gender. You might have a wife right now and she was born a man. We see the day it's approaching. It's about to end, right?
Now they will see the true men of God. We are not black men, we are the Israelites. Take care of us. And our children too. We have repented. How are you? People want to know who's the king.
O nation of Israel, it's time to return to the Father. O nation of Israel, it's time to return to the Father.
Now why they trying to make it so hard to serve God? And why when I say that I'm a Jew it sound odd? For years I've been walking around saying that I'm a black man. I ain't saying that no more, it sounds wrong, man.
This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcast, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.